Evening all, welcome to Kicking Dust. Right, continuation of our discussion. Now, the massive troll made last time, I hope people have listened to and I think maybe taken on board. Now, again, these are not easy words. These are not easy words said to a gaming community that is obviously very mature and established, because the reality is this game almost needs to kind of do something quite drastic to draw in new players. And I think that's kind of where my words come from. And again, I'm probably wrong on this on a number of areas, because I think, don't get me wrong, a lot of people, 95% of the community, run a very good game. They have fun with it, and they're obviously treating it as a bit of a game. There's probably 5% of the community who maybe take it too far, because firstly, they're playing probably too much. And this is, again, I'm going to make myself very unpopular here, but again, to be clear, I have never been, when I set this channel up, I always said to myself, I'm not going to pander to people. I'm not going to, be Joe everybody that gets on with everybody and doesn't have really any edge to them, because if I'm honest, I think a lot of people are afraid to say what they really think. And there's only a few of us, again, I'm not mentioning any names, who perhaps just do state their opinion. And I think this is something that I think is quite a pain to me, because I think, again, I'm always going to speak my mind with this. And so, again, difficult words. But in essence, the issue, I think, certainly is, with this game is not enough people play it, because it's such a barrier to get into now. And what is that barrier made of? Players that are already playing this game and denying and stomping the shit out of new players. Now, it's a crazy dichotomy, but let me explain, because this has precedent in business, in the business world, is that you could have a relatively successful product, okay, that has a supplier base, it has a following of some kind, but you still pull that product, re-engineer it, and then remarket it and resell it as something slightly different, because you realize, I mean, again, Dust to me is a diamond. It really is, because when you compare it critically to other games out there, it is as strong in terms of its core gun mechanics. It's probably better in terms of its vehicle and so on mechanics. And I think it is pretty much a good game. But I would say the biggest issue it has is it's such a difficult, limiting game to get into. And this comes from the fact that CCP they have a skill progression system which denies the ability for new players to get into the game easily at all. And that's the subtext of it straight away. So Eve has this same problem, but Dust suffers more so from it because Eve is a subscription model. So once that person's subscribed, fuck it, you've got them. And if they subscribe again, great. If they don't, oh well. You then have to keep looking to new people to subscribe. With this game, because it's a free-to-play game, a lot of people dismiss it more easily than a subscribe model, because they're not paying money to download it. They download the game, they'll load it up, they'll play a match, they'll get proto-stomped. They'll probably not understand why, they maybe won't get what's going on, and then they just uninstall it and say, that's a load of bollocks. And that's obviously the damaging, that's the buying behavior of this whole thing. I'm sorry I'm going so MBA on you right now, but I have to, because this is something that has bothered me for a while, is the buying behavior of this kind of product is so low, because it's like, it's free, you throw it away, and you think, oh, I'll give it a try. So getting people to download it is probably very easy. Then getting people to stay has got to be the hardest thing. And if I'm honest with you, CCP have not made this easy. They've given you a great game, they've given you an open game, they've given you lots of content, but what they haven't done is they haven't given you the tools to grow safely. Now, a lot of you will disagree with this, because obviously everybody loves stomping puppies, and everybody laughs when you see a new player in a game who's trying to, I don't know, crouch shoot like COD or some stupid shit like that. But this is the problem, is that we shouldn't be laughing at those players, although it is funny. We shouldn't be laughing at those players. We should be trying to create an environment by which they can grow and learn the game. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to give a very, very different tier system to the matchmaking queue. So there almost needs to be the ability to say, I would like to play an ambush, please, sir. And then the first thing you then see is, would you like to play basic fits, militia only, standard gear, advanced, or prototype? Like the gates in Eve, they have all of these in the complexes. You can't obviously take a battleship into a level 3, you can't take a battle cruiser into a level 2 or whatever. I don't know, I don't play the game anymore, but that's what it had, and it made a lot of sense, because it meant that you could kind of, you would engage in the game in the right level. This game is absolutely in need of that. yes, there may be an issue of not enough players to create very varied matches, but if you're running all militia, it's going to be a very different game. Okay, you're still going to get people who are very good at the game stomping the hell out of you, but it is a different game. If everybody's got a very basic set of fits or whatever it may be, it just makes more sense to me. That's one way of doing it. The other is to have modes where you're not going to be hit with vehicles like I'm doing here. What a hypocrite, I know. But again, I'm talking more than me. I am just as guilty of this as anyone else. That we just get into a game, we bring the best fit we can because, hey, we've got all the skill points, you might as well enjoy it. And that guy there probably could be somebody new to the game. This guy here that I'm about to shoot, there we go, and we've just lost another customer. I honestly do think that there needs to be some form of saving this game from ourselves, because we're all guilty of this. When you see the standard like proto stomps that happen, we all do it. We all enjoy a game where we just literally rip the enemy team apart. What keeps us going is the fact that the dust has got under our skin. What does not keep any other players, new players coming, is the fact that they've not had that yet. So to them, they're just like, wow, this is a bit shit, isn't it? And they would not enjoy being proto-stomped on their third match out of the academy. And that's the problem. That is literally what's happening. That's what happened to Trouble, the person who does all the artwork for this channel, my boss. She tried, she did the academy. It was fun. She enjoyed it. And then she got out of the academy, and then she joined a match, and she had a whole gang of bleep, 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 corp name removed here. And it was a Q-synced gang. So it was 12 people of the same corp. And they stomped the living hell. And she was just trying to say, like, well, I still wasn't terribly familiar with the controls. So it was like I was trying to kind of get out of the way. And these people they just ripped me to pieces. And every time I spawned in, apparently I died. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? And she says, well, there was a spawn pad or something, a spawn point. Every time I spawned on it, the match would open, and then I'd be like dead. And I'd be like, yeah, that's spawn camping. And then she just laughed at me and said, why do they allow that? And I honestly couldn't give you an answer. I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny. It's a bit damaging when you think about it. So, in essence, this is the problem. This is pretty much the problem that I think this game is suffering. Is the significant, there are other barriers, don't get me wrong, but the significant barrier to people coming and joining Dust and joining the community and growing it is other players, and it's the attitudes and the opinions of a lot of the players, okay? Because we're not exactly that friendly to people. If we see an opportunity to stomp somebody, we're going to. And I think just generally, when you look at the forums, if somebody then says, well, I got stomped, but maybe I'll go and read the forums, go and have a look at what the community says. Oh my God, the community for this game on the forums, that is, careful, don't unsubscribe yet. The community for this game on the forums is not the best and most representative of the wider community. There you go. That's the nice way of saying that most of the people who post are just endless shit posting, wanting, like engine farming scrub assholes. And yes, I use the word scrub, so that shows you how angry I am, because it's like that we're making it worse for the whole game. And it's like, if people don't like the game and they want it to fail, then fair enough, then they're going about it the right way, because I would say at the moment they're just not helping this game at all by sitting there and acting all kind of I don't know, somebody posts on there saying, how do I load a gun, and then you imagine the flaming they get in general discussion. Fuck off, go home, noob, fuck you, scrub, bastard, whatever. We are kind of worse than Dota, and that's bad. I'm just saying, bros. We are absolutely worse than Dota. Dota is a friendly, warm, embracing community compared to us. And I hate to say that. When I look at some of the comments on my videos, they do make me smile, because people fucking hate everything in this game. It's like, people who love the game in theory, they just hate it as well. It's an absolute love-hate thing. I make myself unpopular with these views, but again, at the end of the day, at least I'm saying them. I just find you don't find them generally. If you go and look at, most of the, I guess, content out there and most of the forum posts, people aren't really kind of talking this game. And I think, to be honest with you, there is a significant block to this game, and it is us. And I think it's the attitude of the community as well. And I think unless we change, I think we're just going to see CCP doing something drastic, or the game would just continue and kind of, I guess, erode over time. And I don't want to see that. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.